Hello, my name is Renata Bangs. I'm currently enrolled in the Master of New Media Journalism. I am a returning graduate of Full Sail University. I began my journey to finding my life's task by graduating with my BFA in creative writing back in 2021. During that journey, I discovered that my passion and dream of becoming a writer may look slightly different than I had imagined. I found a new passion for storytelling using media, video, and music to enhance my creativity. Then, shortly after I graduated, life happened again, and I put my dreams on hold to become my mom's full time caregiver. During that time, I strayed far from my path and decided to take my master's in education, only to discover that it was definitely not the right move for me. So then I took some time off, withdrew from the classes, and did some soul searching, which led me right back into telling stories. I am here to add skills to what I already know how to do and to maybe discover where that life path is going to take me. So I returned right to my roots of writing and telling stories, and I'm here to do that, to accomplish that. This video is the turning point video, and I will share from my life a couple of turning points and a couple of things that led me down this road of writing and telling stories. Thank you. Johann Wolfgang von Goethe once said, "The misery that oppresses you lies not in your profession, but in yourself." Having many jobs in my past, I can attest to this being true. I once counted over 40 jobs that I've had in my life. I can tell you that I have never found anything that fulfilled the passion in me as much as writing does. And I've strayed from that several times, most out of need. They fulfilled the need for a job or an income to support my family, but they were never really where my heart was. As a natural born caregiver, most of my life, my main priority has always been to care for others. I've been a mother, sister, aunt, grandma, and so as of today, I still care for my mother. So one of my first jobs I ever had would seem like a natural, and I became a certified nurse's aide. I did that for many, many years before I moved on to my next opportunities. For most people, becoming a bank teller probably wouldn't seem like a big idea or a big deal, but for me, it was a very big deal because it was the first time since having children at 16 years old that I ever felt like, hey, there's something else out there. I can do this. I can do something more. So this was another one of those jobs that gave me inspiration and kept me moving forward. Yep, as it says here, I can build you a house, but I do not want to. I spent most of my life in construction, and that was due. My ex was a carpenter, and we had a family business, and I ended up not only learning how to run the business, market the business, work the books, but I actually worked on job sites. I learned how to build, and it was definitely, I hated the work most of the time. It was hard. But I did love the outcome of seeing what we'd done and what we'd fixed, what we'd built, restored, things like that. So it was a good experience. It's just not something that it's definitely a long ways away from writing. Well, this one was definitely a false start for me. After in between getting my bachelor's at Full Sail and coming back to Full Sail, there was a period of time that I thought I could just go and become a teacher and have a job and get the summers off, and it would be all good. I'd be putting my skills to use. So I started my masteries in education, and I did quite a bit before they put me in a classroom, and I realized that it was not a good fit for me, and this was not something I would enjoy every day. So thankfully I got out before I regretted that decision. So this was definitely a false start. And it says Robert Greene says a false path in life, generally something we are attracted to for the wrong reasons, money, fame, attention, and so on. That's kind of where I feel I was attracted to the idea of using my education, paying my bills, and so I went into education, but it wasn't for me. In the book Mastery, written by Robert Greene, the very first strategy to finding your life's task is to return to your origins, the primal inclination strategy. This strategy definitely stood out to me as the strategy that would most fit me for finding my life strategy. You will find out as the more you get to know me that my original passion for writing came at such a young age, and life just totally got in the way, but that's where I need to go back to that passion and the reason I started writing in the first place. Green also states you must understand the following in order to master a field. You must love the subject and feel a profound connection to it. Your interest must transcend the field itself and border on religious. I believe that writing not only saved my life, but it propels me forward every day. And some of the hardest times in my life, I've taken out a book or scrap paper or napkin, and I've written some feelings or some poetry or something. And I don't, half the time I don't even consider the stuff I write poetry, but other people call it that. So in order for you to understand my passion for writing, I have to take you back to my childhood. I've often said I was born to the devil and an angel who was bound by her own demons. I spent many years in pain, and I was unable to talk about it. I was unable to tell people about what was happening at my house and the life that I was living. So I found out from my experiences, I couldn't speak the truth, but I could write the truth. And I would write the truth, and I would write what I wanted to say, and sometimes I'd scream on paper, and I'd throw it away, and I'd burn it, and I'd get rid of it. And I did that for many, many years. And that was how I coped with my life, and that's what got me through some very, very tough things. And so I definitely, that's where my passion began. It became an outlet and a way for me to share my stories without actually getting anybody in trouble or without, doing what I wasn't supposed to do. So definitely my passion started at a very young age. I actually have two profound turning points in my life. The first was my 5th grade year in school. I was living in hell, literally, but had developed a passion for reading and writing. My 5th grade teacher, Mr. St. John, noticed something, and he offered me the opportunity to write a story for what was called Young Authors. And he paid for me to attend the conference, and he helped me put the book together, and he really took an interest in me. And that's the first time I think anybody in my life ever took an interest or noticed anything about me. So I wrote a book, and this is the actual cover to that book that I drew, and 30 years later somebody had that book and gave it to me. So it was funny enough, I wrote a book about a boy who had a dream about a flying horse. But when he told his father about this dream he had and this flying horse, his father told him it was just a dream and it was never going to come true. Of course, in the end, the dream came true, and the boy jumped on the horse and flew away and was never seen again. So, that tells you a little bit what I was thinking in the 5th grade. I wanted to jump on a horse or run away and never be seen again. I remember my teacher telling me that I should consider becoming a writer. And this is important because I would carry that with me and that compliment with me for my entire life. In fact, I wish I would have got a chance to tell him that I did. I heard him. But yeah, so this was a very, very important turning point in my life. My second turning point, not so much to smile about there, but I would find my first freedom in 26 years from very abusive, mentally and physically abusive relationship. I didn't have to think hard though. Once I finally picked up and I walked out, the very first thing I did within 6 months of me leaving was to enroll in Full Sail University. And it was extremely hard in the beginning. Emotionally, I had no clue what I was doing. It's the first time I'd been on my own my entire life. But I did find my way back to that dream, and I felt like a little girl when I was doing it. I felt like, oh my gosh, I'm doing it. I'm going to be something. And like I said, I still hadn't figured out. I don't know what I'm supposed to use this for. I've had some other things, kick up and kind of derail me a little bit. But I'm back, and I'm back to do exactly what I wanted to do in the first place. And I want to tell stories someday. And I don't know if it's my story, somebody else's story, or everybody's story. But I want to tell those stories in a way that connects emotionally to people. And that's why I am back here to find out where that place, my life's task, is going to be. 2 SMART goals I've set for myself in the next month or so. I would say in the next month I really need to get on it. is I have not updated my portfolio, and I feel that my resume is going to be as a brand new person. I've never actually worked in writing. I've never actually done anything. I've got a couple of published books, and a couple stories published in journals, but I'm really going to be like a new kid right out of school. So I need to update that and remind myself how the resume is supposed to look, and then I have some things that I can add to it from these courses. But I need to do that. The second smart goal I have is I need to connect with people. In my realm, my world, I don't have anybody who shares the same passions. I don't have any writers. I don't have any storytellers, no directors. No, I live in a very small knit of people, and it's mostly my kids, my grandkids, my mom. So I need to reconnect. I mean, when I was in Full Sail the first time, I connected with a lot of people, but life happens. So those are my two SMART goals, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you.